Hi, I'm Justina Lascola. I am a fourth grade teacher in Florida. I have a major in not only special education along with general education and an endorsement in English as a second learner. I'm going to be telling you exactly how to do a reading conference. It can vary between student to student, but I'm going to let you know what a general reading conference looks like. First thing you want to do when you're coming to a student is have them read, study their habits when you come to them, see what they're doing. Tracking is when they take their finger across a page and they follow the words underneath it. The student can give you signs that if the student's tracking the words individually, that they may have some problems with fluency in the sense of comprehending what stories happen within the context, and they're a little behind reader, especially if for third grades are normal for tracking. Fourth grade to fifth grade, you can get an idea that maybe they're a little behind in reading levels if they're continuing to track, 'cause it means they haven't developed the skills to track words and with their eyes and not just with their finger to follow through. Another thing, after you study the habits, you write down things that you see. Maybe they're a read aloud person where they have to actually talk and you'll hear them whisper what they're reading. You write those things down. You see if they're tracking. You see if they are flipping, because it means that they're not paying attention to the book they're reading. So it's a lot of things you can observe before you even get to the child. Once you sit down next to a child, you ask them what the title of the book is, how they chose the book. For instance, this is obviously a book that's not English, but it's the only one I can find down here. Now, if you were to take this book and I was a child, I'm going to dual role here. It's the first thing I'd be like, oh, can you tell me what the title of the book is? It's important that you ask this question, because if a student cannot locate a title of a book, it means that they still have not been able to figure out not only what the title is, where you can find table of contents, etc. So it's important that they can find the text features, is what we call it. So you'd ask a student, oh, can you tell me what the title of your book is? And then they should go to the first page of their book and read the title to you. Like, oh, okay, well, what have you read so far? And then they'll open up to the page, and then you can see where they're at developmentally, if they can open to the page where they're at, or if they're like, oh, I don't know. A, they weren't paying attention. Two, they really had no idea what they were reading. Another thing you can do with the child, if you're just getting a book, is what we call a picture walk. Now, what you do is you have the child look at the front cover of the book, and all you do with the student is you look at the pictures, you read picture captions, and you talk about the text features. You talk about the title of the book, how you can find information inside of a cover or book, and seeing if maybe the author wrote a note to somebody or a little glimpse of a summary that sometimes in a lot of elementary school books you'll see in the bottom of the inside cover here. Or, of course, you always have the back that will have what the story is about, and then the student will go through and they'll briefly go through and look at all the pictures inside the book, and they kind of take it in the sense of saying, oh, well, this could be interesting to me. Once they've looked at the book, this is where your conferencing gets really important. In general, there's a rule that if a student misses no words within like the first 2 pages, the book's we call too easy. And that means that child, we call it a dessert book. It's a book where you read just for fun. If a child misses 2 to 3 words, I keep a word bank. Basically, all it would be is an index card, and the student would write those words down on the index card. Because once they're done reading, he or she would then go with you to look in the dictionary, and you show them how to go in the dictionary and find the meaning of that word. Then you can get into more of the fun things and talking about nouns, and if the word's a noun, etc., verb, and you can go in a mini quick little sort of explain why that word could be what, verb form or noun, etc. So if they miss 2, it's called a just right book. If they miss 3 or 4 words or 3 or more words and they're stumbling through, it's a too hard book, and that means it's too difficult for them. Now, another way to assess a child, it's not only with the words they miss, is you ask questions in between, like who are the characters in the book, and it's after what you're listening, as they read aloud to you, you're listening to this and you're writing notes down. You're saying, okay, who is the characters in the book? If the child can't comprehend who the characters in the book, it means one, the story is too complex for them to keep track of what's going on. You can ask them what the very first event was that you heard when they were reading. Ask them questions of the sort of, how did this character feel?